So, Wonder Man is finally here on Disney+. Marvel's latest character is making his small screen debut, and yeah, it's got that hugely meta vibe that fans have been hyped about. But here's the thing. A lot of people are already asking the same question. Is there going to be a second season? Now, Marvel Disney Plus shows getting a second season? That's actually pretty rare, so let's break it all down for you. The show. What it is. Wonder Man stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Simon Williams, an up-and-coming actor just trying to make his mark in Hollywood, and he's joined by fan favorite Sir Ben Kingsley, who plays the hapless Trevor Slattery. Simon's big goal? He wants to land the lead role in an in-universe reboot of Wonder Man, and to do that, he enlists Trevor's help. So yeah, it's a superhero origin story wrapped in a Hollywood satire. Pretty wild concept. Why Season 2 is such a big deal? Now here's the thing about Marvel's Disney Plus shows. Most of them have been one and done. We're talking WandaVision, Echo, Ironheart, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, Agatha All Along, Moon Knight. All of these were basically standalone or spin-off stories. Either they introduced a new character into the MCU, or they gave an existing one a deeper look. And that was it. The one big exception? Loki. That's pretty much the only show that actually got a second season. So for Wonder Man to get one too, that would be a pretty big deal. Will there be a Season 2? So will it happen? Right now, there's been no official announcement from Marvel Studios or Disney Plus about a second season. But, and this is important, the door isn't completely shut either. Wonder Man was originally planned as a limited series, just one season. But the much-praised dynamic between its two leads could help it buck the trend. And the people behind it seem to be leaving the door open. What Marvel is saying, Brad Winderbaum, he's the head of Marvel Television and Animation, he's actually spoken about this. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, ahead of New York Comic Con, he said that a second season could happen, but it comes down to both how audiences respond and whether the show actually finds an audience on the platform. He said, and I quote, "Season 2 could be on the table if people watch. If it's the only Wonder Man story, it really stands on its own as a beautiful piece. But I anticipate that when people get to the end of this story, they're going to want more. And I hope that's what happens." Why Marvel scaled back on Disney Plus shows. Now, Winderbaum also touched on why so many Marvel Disney Plus shows never got a second season. A lot of those early shows were designed as limited series, characters that could, quote, bounce back and forth between the movies and TV shows. But when it came to actually making second seasons, he said the deal structure became really expensive, frankly. So that's why Marvel started shifting their focus toward animated projects that are built for longer runs, like X-Men 97 and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Those are meant to come out annually for a number of years. Where Wonder Man fits in. But Wonder Man sits in a bit of a gray area. Winderbaum actually put it on a list alongside Marvel Zombies, projects where, in his words, we have to see. So right now, Marvel is basically in a wait-and-see mode. They want to see how the show performs with audiences first before making any decisions. Wonder Man Season 2, release date. Okay, so if a second season does get greenlit, when could we actually see it? That's tough to say right now, especially since Season 1 has only just dropped. Wonder Man was first announced back in June 2022, but it got hit by the 2023 WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, which put production on hold for a while. That's why it took longer than expected to finally land on Disney+. But if a second season were to get the go-ahead, and it didn't run into the same kind of delays, the turnaround could be quicker. A realistic estimate would put it somewhere around early 2028. But again, that's just speculation at this point, because Marvel is still waiting on how Season 1 does. Achu would come back for Season 2. Now, let's talk cast. If Wonder Man does get a second season, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II and Ben Kingsley would be the obvious choices to come back. Their dynamic as Simon and Trevor is really the heart of the show. That said, scheduling could be a factor, especially for Ben Kingsley. If Netflix ends up announcing more Thursday Murder Club sequels, that could get tricky. But here's another possibility. Marvel might not even need a second season to keep using these characters. They could just bring them into other parts of the MCU instead. Trevor Slattery is already a well-established figure in the Marvel Universe. He's shown up in the Iron Man series and in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So he's already an easy fit for future projects in the wider MCU. So bottom line, Wonder Man Season 2 is not confirmed, but it's not off the table either. Marvel is keeping their options open, and it really does come down to how well the show does with audiences. Winderbaum himself seems to be hoping we get more from Simon and Trevor. Let's just hope viewers feel the same way. Make sure you stick around, because as soon as there's any new info on a potential Season 2, we'll be covering it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.